You are here, but you don't quite feel here. You go through the motions, you show up, you function, you do everything you are supposed to do, but there is this persistent, unsettling feeling like you are watching your own life from behind glass. Like the person living your life is you, but not quite you. The conversations feel scripted, the days blur together, the things that are supposed to matter somehow don't land the way they should. And the most frightening part? You cannot explain it to anyone, because from the outside, everything looks completely normal. Carl Jung had a name for this. And more importantly, he had an answer. Stay with me, because what he discovered about this feeling will change how you understand everything that has been happening inside you. Jung called this derealization, the experience of feeling detached from your own life, and he was clear about one thing. It is not madness. It is not a sign that something is permanently broken. It is not even, in most cases, a psychological disorder. It is a signal, a very specific signal from the deepest layer of your psyche, telling you that the life you are living on the outside has drifted too far from the truth of who you actually are on the inside. Think about that. The feeling of unreality is not random. It tends to arrive at very specific moments. When you are living according to someone else's expectations rather than your own truth. When you have been performing a version of yourself for so long that the performance has started to feel like reality and the reality has started to feel like a performance. Jung said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another." The life that fits someone else, even a life that looks perfectly good from the outside, will feel unreal to the person it doesn't actually fit. Here is the practice. Ask yourself honestly, whose life am I living right now? Is it mine? Or is it the life that made sense to someone else? A parent, a partner, a society, and I simply stepped into it without fully choosing it. That question is uncomfortable. It is supposed to be. Jung identified the root cause of this feeling in something he called the persona, the mask we construct to be acceptable to the world. And he observed something that explains everything about why your life feels unreal. When the persona becomes too thick, when the mask becomes too heavy, too all-consuming, too far from the actual face beneath it, the person wearing it begins to experience their own life as fiction. Because it is. Not your life. The life of the mask. Here is what this looks like in practice. You wake up and go through a day that is perfectly functional, productive, even, but at the end of it you feel strangely empty. Not sad exactly, empty. Like something essential was absent from the entire day. That something is you. The actual you, beneath the performance, beneath the role, beneath the accumulated accommodations and adjustments you have made to fit into a life that was designed around other people's expectations. That version of you barely appeared today. And the psyche knows. It registers the absence. It produces the feeling of unreality as a direct response to the absence of authentic presence. Here is the exact practice. Think of one moment in the last week when you felt genuinely real, genuinely present, genuinely yourself. What were you doing? Who were you with? What about that moment was different from the rest? That moment, however brief, is a compass. It is pointing you toward the conditions in which your authentic self can actually breathe. Here is the most important thing Jung wanted people to understand about this feeling. It is not your enemy. The feeling of unreality is your psyche's most honest communication. It is the deeper self, saying clearly, persistently, in the only language it has available, "This is not quite right. Something needs to change." Not everything, not dramatically, not all at once, but something. Jung believed that the unconscious is always moving toward what he called individuation, the process of becoming fully, authentically yourself. And when the outer life is significantly misaligned with that process, when the life you are visibly living is too far from the life your deeper self is trying to become, the unconscious produces symptoms. The feeling of unreality is one of the most common symptoms. And like all symptoms, it is not the problem, it is the message. Here is the practice. Ask yourself, if my life felt completely real tomorrow, what would be different? Not everything. Just the one thing that, if it changed, would make the biggest difference to how present you feel in your own existence. Write it down. You don't have to act on it immediately, but know it. Let yourself have the honest answer. Because knowing what would make your life feel real is the first step toward actually making it real. Jung offered something specific for this. He called it returning to the body. Not in a physical sense alone, though that matters, but in the deeper sense of returning to the immediate, sensory, present moment experience of being alive. The things that are happening right now. The weight of this moment. The texture of this day. The feeling of unreality is almost always accompanied by a retreat into the head, into thought, analysis, planning, rumination, and away from direct experience. The return happens through the opposite movement. Here is the exact practice Jung taught. Once a day, just once, stop completely whatever you are doing, and for 60 seconds, notice only what is immediately present. What you can feel right now, what you can hear, what is actually here in this specific moment that is undeniably real. Not thoughts about the moment itself. This sounds almost absurdly simple, but Jung found that the daily practice of returning to immediate, present experience consistently, deliberately, gradually dissolves the glass wall, not all at once, but steadily. Because the feeling of unreality is maintained by absence of genuine presence, and genuine presence practiced daily, even briefly, is its only real antidote. If your life has been feeling unreal, that feeling is not a malfunction. It is a message. And the fact that you are here, watching this, trying to understand it, that itself is the beginning of coming back. Leave one word in the comments that describes how your life has been feeling lately. Subscribe to the Inner Persona Weekly Carl Jung Psychology for the ones who are paying attention to what their inner life is actually saying. Because the life that feels real is the one that is actually yours.